Hey everyone, it's Andy Logan from the Shivers game here, bringing you our Writers Roundtable, where we're going to meet with four of the amazing writers that are going to be collaborating with us on the new expansion episodes. We have Jules, Viditya, Gabe, and Elisa. And go ahead, Jules, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Yansu Julian Kim. Most people just call me Jules. And I am a tabletop game designer mostly. I also have done some LARP design and interactive fiction writing, a little bit of video game writing. So it's kind of game writing all over the place. But I've done a lot of design work geared towards younger demographics, which I really enjoy doing because as a kid, I felt like our selection of games geared for us was a little bit limited, and now there's a lot of great choices. I have a few of the things I've worked on fairly recently here, including the Avatar Legends RPG, which just won two Emmys, which I'm very excited about. Um, Magical Kitties, I've done a lot of Magical Kitties writing, so this is one of the hometown just like a fairy tale themed one. And then, of course, Women Are Werewolves, slightly eaten by a rabbit, so I apologize for that. By ninth written by published by Ninth Level Games, which also was nominated for an Emmy recently. So that's kind of my exciting recent things I have physically with me.
Great. Thanks, Jules, and bonus points for the rabbit damage.
Yeah.
Uh, Viditya, do you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, everyone. I'm Viditya. I'm an interactive artist and game designer. I have a diverse background in games. I've been making games for as long as I can remember. And I worked on tabletop games, board games, role-playing games, digital games, installation work. I primarily just really enjoy play and interaction and getting people telling stories and making interesting little choices and playing around. And so I have a pretty diverse portfolio, but I have some stuff with me right now with like, let me see if I can turn off my, yeah. I got Space Goblins, which is a game that I made about little goblins in space. And then I've worked for like big name publishers like Paizo, where I wrote some stuff for Starfinder. And also I'm a writer on Pathfinder Second Edition's Tianxia expansion also, which is really exciting. And then also some indie productions like The Spire. I wrote for Sin, uh, one of the expansions for that game, and various other little indie projects all around.
Great. Thanks, and welcome to the team. Gabe.
Hi, I'm Gabe Hicks. I also actually worked on Starfinder Tech Revolution. It was a lot of fun. I got the ability to write a guitar laser gun. It's ridiculous. I can't believe they let me do that. But yeah, I've done work with like Critical Role, Dimension 20, Renegade, Steamforged, the Adventure Zone. I love interactive storytelling. I love building worlds, and I love when you get to interact with that both like narratively, vocally, and then like physically. So I'm really excited for the Shivers because the pop-up mechanics are going to give my little gremlin hands so much joy. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
Great. Thanks, Gabe. Elisa.
Hey everyone, I'm Elisa Teague. I am a tabletop game designer, RPG author, and puzzle designer. I've done a lot of escape room design, and I wrote the puzzle chapter in D&D's Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. I've even done some puzzle design work for a puzzle museum in Washington, D.C. called Planet Word, and I love puzzles so much. I usually put them in all of my game designs as well, my tabletop game designs as well. I've been in this industry for 23 years, and I've done a lot of board games and card games, including I was the lead designer on Betrayal at House on the Hill Widow's Walk, which is a fun board game that has a haunted house mechanic that when I saw the Shivers, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I want to work on something for that. So I'm really excited to get my hands on that. Done a lot of RPG work as well, in addition to the Tasha stuff. I was the lead designer on the Essence 20 system, and I worked closely with Gabe on that, making that new system. And we put out the G.I. Joe and Power Rangers and Transformers, which Gabe was one of the writers on as well, RPGs. And most recently, I have all sorts of books stacked up right here. Most recently, just come out the My Little Pony role-playing game. And I forgot to show Tasha, so I'll show it because it's in my stack of things. And many more. Right now, just announced I wrote the Welcome to Night Vale RPG that's coming out next year. I'm producing and writing on the Adventure Time RPG, and coming out very, very soon, probably while you're watching this video, is the Marvel Multiverse RPG adventure book that I wrote on the Cataclysm of Kang. So that's super fun too. Lots of stuff. Can't wait to get my hands on this one though.
Awesome. Well, I think as you can see, we've assembled a stellar team for the Shivers, and that's one of the things that excites me is not having to come up with all the ideas on my own for each episode, but bringing in all these amazing talented brains, creative minds who can bring their own backgrounds and inspirations to the project. So I'm excited to see where they take it. I'm curious, some of you mentioned a little bit about when you first heard about the Shivers, what excited you when you first thought about writing for it. Let's chat about kind of what excites you about the Shivers, what aspects you're interested to bring into it or explore, maybe when you first heard about it. I'll open up the table.
I just love pop-up books.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's truly what it is. I was just gonna.
I mean, that's what got me. I saw it. I don't know if you really remember, Andy, but I saw it at a show, and it was still in prototype form. And I was like, what is this? I love this idea so much. And I've been into it ever since. So, and the idea of like mixing narrative, puzzles, exploration, and everything all combined into one game is amazing.
Yeah, that might have been a pre-COVID PAX somewhere on the Eastern Seaboard.
Mhm.
But yeah, we first started showing our handmade prototypes before we got into the big boy club with actual production parts where we're at now. Very cool.
I like oh, sorry, no, Jules.
Oh, I was gonna say my mom actually used to make me when I was a kid, little like notebooks and journals with little pop-up elements. So it'd be like, oh, here's like a little secret pocket, and you can like put a little letter in there. And I was also I was like a spooky child. I had a lot of like horror or ghost themed just children's books and pop-up books. So it feels very nostalgic to me, which I'm a sucker for nostalgia. So
I'm still a spooky child. Let's all just admit this.
That's great.
Oh, I'm deeply afraid of everything. I'm a scaredy cat. I'm a coward. I'm openly a coward when it comes to spooky stuff, but I love it. Like horror is also one of my favorite genres to create in, especially from the side of like I get really scared, but I love wanting to be scared. It's very I don't know.
Yeah,
Wild.
awesome. Yeah, and I think pop-ups are obviously what really sets our game apart from a lot of other tabletop experiences. I know when I'm at a convention like PAX Unplugged or one of the other shows, Gen Con, in our little booth, I just kind of stand there opening the pop-ups up, and from across the hall, people will see it. And what is that? And even though it's, it kind of gets their attention at first, I think they stay for the great puzzles, the episodes, the character development, the co-op kind of banter that they get from the game. But yeah, the hook of having a pop-up is definitely effective, I think.
Well, I think like there's also a lot of when you think about like physicality in a tabletop game, you think of miniatures, you think of grids, and like when you kind of go back, that's not really what play for me was as a kid or even anything. It's like making little sets, making little rooms, moving guys around, like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to you, so I move my guy next to you. It's not combat, or it's not like measured out stuff. So I think that also kind of is just a cool feature of this, where it's going back to a different kind of table presence and another form of that you don't see in tabletop games too often.
Yeah.
For me, when I run and I I create my own games for either private parties or my friends or whatever. When I run a tabletop RPG, I actually take the terrain that I have and add in little details with puzzles, with things to look at, with things to investigate. And for me, this game, the Shivers, already has that. Andy, you opened up the pop-up and there's this ooh and ah moment. But really, for me, the ooh and ah moment is when you look even closer and you look at the painting on the wall and you look at the little details in the rugs, and that's where you find all of the magic in this game. And that's where I just can't wait to explore and play with myself.
Yeah, no, that's great. And if you say like Darcy Coates, who did our first expansion, she's an Australian Gothic fiction writer. She said, "Look, I need to pour some molten silver into a key mold in the crypt. Where can I do that?" And we put in a little mold of a key on one of the tiles because she needed it. So whatever our writers need to happen in the rooms, we're going to try to make happen, especially if it's something that can be flexible to other episodes as well. So I think it's not just a one way, here are your rooms, go. I want this to be collaborative so that if you really need something in the room, we make sure we got it in the room.
Awesome. I can't wait.
It really
Yeah.
scratches that itch also. Like, I love, even as an adult, I'm not gonna pretend, even as an adult, I love toys.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And so this really scratches that itch of like, okay, storytelling game and also something I can like physically play with. And because I had
Yep.
so many play sets as a kid, I still have a lot of them. I just moved recently and uncovered a bunch of them again. And there's something really, it's like a little theater for yourself in a way, and it's fun to have those just little interactive components. And I love secrets, like tiny little secrets. So
Who doesn't love a little hidden secret? I love it. Well, we've talked about the rooms. Would you guys like to maybe have a sneak peek at the what you'll be working with?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's start with our first room. So we have some mock-ups and we have some real illustrations of what they're going to look like. The first one will be the Deadly Dungeon.
Ooh,
See that?
that's fun.
Ooh.
With working guillotine.
oh my god.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Okay.
So we've got like an Iron Maiden in there. We've
Oh my
got
God.
stocks. We've got a table with the guillotine and all kinds of really cool detail.
God.
That's
So
so
this
impressive.
This is my kind of hand-built mock-ups that starts the process, and then we give it to Bill Tiller, who's our amazing illustrator who worked on games like Curse of Monkey Island and Vampire Stories on the digital video game side. And now he's bringing all those talents to the board game physical world. I'm going to share my screen here, and you can see how it's going to look kind of in full color.
Whoa.
Oh,
So you can see all those elements are there. He's kind of taken my idea as an underlay and now done his amazing style of very animated forms and whimsical imagery and amazing lighting and shadow. And so that's really going to help this sing.
That's
can I have that
mind-blowing.
bat bookcase for realsies? That is awesome.
It'll be a stretch goal.
All right.
Handmade
You
wooden.
heard it here first, folks.
Yeah,
But just for you, just for Elisa. You
That's
make it.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so the next one is going to be, so that room was a normal sized room, what we call like a 1-unit room.
Yeah.
The next one is going to be a double wide room, like our parlor is, where it's 2 side-by-side dimensions. And this one's a double wide observatory, so the ominous observatory. So we've got a telescope, we've got a orrery, we've got a large window looking out into the surrounding countryside. We've got symbols on the floor.
These are really impressive mock-ups.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a self-taught pop-up maker, but our
Which
real
is
pop-up
wild.
That's amazing. That's like way more impressive.
Well, once they get in the hands of our real paper engineer, Renee Jablo, she really, it's me rubbing two sticks together, and then she makes a violin.
Yep.
So she does the magic. I'm going to share my screen, and you can see that observatory in full color. Here we are.
Oh,
So you can start to see that Moorish
oh my
theme
God.
come into play, all
Oh.
that rich tapestries and the hanging lamps, and the big view of the town of Fogmore Cove behind it, looking out the window. And that window will be a large story card opening, so we can change what's happening outside. We can have, creatures outside, or things happening in town or in the skies, all kinds of good stuff. And even the orrery there in the middle, we can use that in the episode to kind of decode things. I'll let your imaginations run wild with that. But it's going to be a lot of fun using this room.
Want to live there?
Yeah, one of the inspirations I gave Bill was there's an imam in Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark, where they go and decode the little ring, the secret decoder amulet, the headpiece of the Staff of Ra. And I did screenshots of it, and I sent those to Bill, like, I want it to look like that. and he's got some imagery from that in here, definitely. All right, so the rooms are definitely getting more interesting. I got to actually get out of my chair to lift this one. Okay, so the next pop-up room is going to be, we're getting out of the house now. We're going into the town, the Fogmore Museum.
I love this. I love
So
this
it's a
dinosaur
full
so
natural
much.
history museum. There's exhibits, displays, a huge dinosaur skeleton,
This is
dioramas.
mind blowing.
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm glad that we're just writing.
And this will connect, with magnets to the whole system, so it'll all be tiled together. And let me now show the
I need to see
amazing
this dinosaur.
illustration.
I just went to the Natural History Museum yesterday.
I went last summer in New York. It's amazing.
I love that place. I'm
let's
here. I'm
see.
ready for this.
Hold on. Zoom is conveniently hiding my Photoshop interface from me. There we go. I can grab it. Here's the
No
Fogmore
freaking way.
Museum.
Yeah, it's Dino Day. I love that.
I love the little unicorn in the
That was
Yeah.
just
I
there's a
say
little
that I'm like,
unicorn.
there's a unicorn in the Natural History Museum. This is amazing.
Yes. There's a lot of historical portraits in here, and little Easter eggs to discover. And all the interesting exhibits. And of course, this artwork will change as it evolves, but it's really captures the richness of a great museum. And then, who knows what's going to happen with this dinosaur? I'm sure at least one of you has an idea of what can be done. Okay, so that's the Fogmore Museum. And the next one takes a little bit of legwork here. I got to bring it over, but the thought is, now we're not just exploring pop-up rooms within the house. We can explore around the house itself with the enormous pop-up Fogmore Manor facade. I got to step back to get it on camera. See, there I am in the back. This is
Oh my god.
almost 2 feet long, almost 2 feet high. And we can now explore this as its own pop-up environment in the house. So this was literally taken from Bill's cover artwork and then cut into pieces and formed into a pop-up. And let me show you
Incredible.
what it's going to look like.
I don't
That's so much-
understand.
That's so much bigger than I thought. I mean, oh, that's huge. That's ginormous.
Yeah, so that will look, it'll unfold like this.
That looks like something out of a movie.
Yeah, it's going to be colored as if it's illuminated from different angles like this, and all the towers will be separate, and there'll be little doors to open, and creatures peering out of windows and things we can alter and add to it for each of your episodes. So it's gonna kind of take the gameplay to a whole nother level, and it can be used really in any episode, even the past Shivers episodes that have been written. It can be used as a lead-in bit of scenery to kind of start the episode off.
I have so many ideas. I have too many. Surprise, Elisa has too many ideas. I want to do so many things. This is so inspiring.
That's great. I'm glad to hear. And we're going to help you make those things happen with the Shivers, because I think we really want to empower our writing team to push the boundaries. I mean, I know what I can do with the game. I want to know what can't be done with it and what's new territory to explore. So I'm excited you guys are starting to kind of kindle the creative furnaces. Excellent. So that's the new rooms we're going to be featuring here on this Kickstarter campaign. Any ideas, anything percolating to the surface that's you want to mention?
I want to do something with that dinosaur. I don't know what yet, but oh my god.
I definitely want to do something with the observatory, but I'm already thinking about how to link to other rooms. So
Yeah, I grew up in DC, so Natural History Museum was a huge part of my childhood.
Oh yeah.
So, and like it was always they used to do weird events, right? Where it's like, oh, spend the night in the museum if you have like $5 million or whatever, right? To participate in those weird, like kind of spooky nighttime events. And so I'm thinking about all my childhood dreams for what to do in an abandoned museum, essentially, if nobody else is there.
That creepy castle could have so many weird things in the windows.
Yeah.
That just shift and change, or like someone opens the that's gonna haunt me.
That's great. Good to hear. And what's interesting about, I think, the Shivers is every episode's a little different because there's different rooms and there are different configurations. The house is always moving and churning. So you might open a cupboard in the kitchen and find the entire museum in there, which you'd go in next to it. So don't let your preconceptions about where rooms should go bar you from exploring where they could go.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, this has been a great Writers Roundtable for the new Shivers expansions. Yeah. And I'm so thankful all of you are on the project and can't wait to see what you come up with.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome, but we need you to help make it happen. We need our backers, our fans to spread the word. We need your help and support to turn on this A-team to play in this sandbox we developed called the Shivers and expand the Shiververse. All right, everyone, that's it for the Writers Roundtable. Thank you all for watching, and thank you to my writers for participating.